So we were really trying to express the feeling of texture of the molds and try to bring it into life. So the first expression of the Oriental heritage is when we think about this tile, this simple shape. Well, how do we apply it into kind of expressing this Eastern side of things? So we were looking at Chinese roof tiles and the way the roofs express. So what's created at the end is these series where the tile is actually expressed horizontally and simply hung. Very poetic, very, very simple. And in terms of the Western heritage, it's expressed vertically, like the 19th century, the Flatiron building, and seeing that almost like the curvature of the modern contemporary architectural facades and expressing them as interlocking forms. So there is a version where the two tiles actually collides and slide off each other. So this is the table lamp, and then the hanging pendant that slides off each other. This was the first launch in Milan, a beautiful setup at Palazzo Serbelloni. So there's a small video as well to showcase that. The idea of tactile collection is really about questioning the materiality of glass. The feeling of touching tactile is a very important part of the project. The feeling of running your on the glass, just as the experience that I had in Prague, in the factory, in the workshop, and running my hand on the molds and really feeling the texture of the molds. And that's a memory that I want to infuse into this particular glass collection. Through the visuals, you have picked up some of the design beliefs that I have tried to express in my work. And I'd like to say that, especially in the days of social media, when everyone wants to do a project that takes great pictures, I think a lot of the times creating experiences and creating interiors is not just about creating the wow factor. It's about creating places, creating objects, creating lighting that can be integrated as part of your life. So I always say that it's not about imposing a lifestyle. It's about having objects, having environments that becomes part of your lifestyle. So thank you.
And I'm from Lasvit, and we are today celebrating here with you, and thank you very much for coming in this big crowd. We are celebrating the start of a partnership with Bika, with Karina, with whom we have been dating for a while, as I mean, not us as people, but as companies, and we are getting married into this fantastic relationship. After this presentation, after the Q&A, please also come to Bika, which is here in Plaza Indonesia, opposite to Starbucks, to see Andrei Fu's collection and also some of our products, collaborations with Maurizio Galante and collaborations with other designers, some young and up and coming like you, and some established like Andrei, Maurizio Galante, or Arik Levy. What I would like to talk about is actually why we do what we do as Lasvit, and I'd also like to show some projects, some of which are here in Indonesia, in Jakarta, some of which are quite contrasting to the interiors by Andre, but they also tell a story. So let me start by why we do what we do. So at Lasvit, we are known for our light pieces, but what we basically are, we are glass makers. We are building on the tradition of glass making that goes back for some 800 to 1,000 years. So this is something that is in our DNA as Czechs, as Central Europeans. This is what we have been doing for a very long time. And what we do is connected with our landscape. What we do is not a huge industrial production. It's very poetic. As Andre mentioned, the feelings from the glassworks. This is just behind our factory. And again, why is the factory in there? Is because historically the raw material is there. In these hills, there is the highest quality silica sand you can find, which made us produce the highest quality glass and crystal in the Czech Republic. To make glass, you need energy. To engrave glass, you need energy. So again, in this landscape, you don't only find the silica sand, you also have the wood, which historically was used to fire the furnaces, and the water that was used for the mills that would run the engraving and cutting machines. We still use the wood in a responsible way to make instruments. You saw Andre touching the molds, the wooden molds, and talking about the feelings he felt. So this is from the local wood that we use and that we create the molds if you want to control the shape of our installations. We work with the blowing pipe, which is the traditional instrument in glass making. So what we do bespoke, custom-made installations, and we do collections. Andre's Collaborations is one of the collections, and I'll share with you some of the projects. In the projects we combine this tradition I was talking about, but we combine it, we bring it together with contemporary design, and as you will see in some of the projects, also with technology and innovation. So I'll start here. We are in Jakarta, and recently opened a fantastic property here, the Four Seasons Hotel. And part of the Four Seasons Hotel is a restaurant, which is the Palm Court restaurant. So what we wanted to create is a feeling, like an additional feature in the space that creates the experience of the Palm Court with these palm leaves, palm trees. And this project I'm showing now, the Peninsula in Paris, is one of the most famous projects we worked with. The Peninsula is a Hong Kong brand by a company called Hong Kong and Shanghai Hotels. And it's a property, it's a historical building in Paris. It's a 19th century building that was converted from the Hotel Majestic into the Peninsula. And we wanted to bring something that is typical for Shanghai, where the designer was coming from, as well as Paris. And we found a connection in the sycamore tree that Paris, as well as Shanghai, are famous for. And okay, I apologize for the pen is not collaborating with my fingers very well, but we have this sycamore tree leaf sculpture that creates the arrival experience for the guests there. That's the detail of the components. Each of these pieces is handcrafted, and only one guy can make them. So if this guy is on holiday, we cannot make these leaves. We are coming from Paris to Abu Dhabi. We worked on the rosewood, and what you can see is the sunset wall behind the reception. Again, a very important part of the experience for the guests just arriving at the property. The inspiration being the sunset in the desert. And from Abu Dhabi, just a stone throw away, is Kuwait and the central bank. This big, imposing building with rather cold architecture. And we wanted to soften the feeling when you enter into the building by this blue moon sculpture. And at our home in Prague, we are a very historic city. Prague is one of the very old cities. And we had a period of communist rule and communist time where several buildings were damaged and destroyed because they didn't really respect the heritage we had. And two fabulous historic buildings were destroyed, and they were names at the building at the Black Horse and building at the White Lion. The communists put up some horrible structure instead of these buildings, which fortunately was taken down recently, and beautiful new building was put up. And our art director, Maxim Velchovsky, he won the art competition for the main lobby with the sculpture of the Good Spirits. And the Good Spirits is the spirits of the old place, the spirit of the building at the Black Horse and the spirit of the building at the White Lion. So through this sculpture, we are reconnecting the new architecture with the old buildings. Again, here in Jakarta, one of the commercial projects here, one of the banks, and the Intercontinental at Mid Plaza Jakarta collaboration with Japanese design studio Spin. The region we are coming from in the Czech Republic is a region of glassmaking and textile making. In this ribbon, we combine the weaving of the fabric with crystals in between them. And this is the pre-function of the ballroom. Just across the roundabout here, the Mandarin Oriental in Jakarta, we have this Cantonese restaurant. So it is a Hong Kong Cantonese restaurant in Jakarta, and what we have here is a feature installation in the ceiling that symbolizes the Victoria Harbor in Hong Kong, with the junk boats bringing the spices from Jakarta, from Indonesia, to Hong Kong. And in Seoul, they just recently opened the tallest tower in Asia, the tallest tower in Seoul, the Lotte World Tower. Fortunately, by law, the tallest building is required to spend certain percentage of the budget on art. And again, we participated in the competition, and our art director Maxim, he won again in here with a sculpture of the pearl diver that is based on the pearl diving tradition of Korea. And Changi Airport, the renovation of the Terminal 2, a small feature, very low ceilings, Dubai Opera House, a fantastic space with some 40 meters high ceilings. And this brings us to the last project, if we can go on. It's a very important project for us. It is a university project, the Prince Mahidol Hall in Bangkok. The Prince Mahidol Hall is famous for its medical school, and it is famous for its musical faculty. And we had this opportunity, this fantastic space in the concert hall, which is also home to the Thai Philharmonic Orchestra, to create an installation there that is building on these two fantastic strengths. And it's an installation called Neurons that is actually, it performs to the music being played on stage. And I'll ask for a video, please.
I think Prince Mayun Hall will be the first symbolic of 21st century for architect in Thailand.
The architectural design of the building is the same kind of design, that of a human skeleton. It's a body, which is why, of course, having the neurons lighting sculpture now in the building is wonderful, because the neurons is like the brain. We've worked very closely with Lasvit to try to make this a stunning feature that puts the brain, the spirit and the light into the hall and the university.
The neuron design is one of the most important things to make people inspire.
So it's the cultural, it's the spiritual, it's the musical center of Mahidol University. But for us, we think that this is the heart of Thailand.
The projects now, and we have at Bika some of the fantastic collections we have, and in the last video that we will play, I would like to share some of the new products that we introduced this April in Milan, some of the collaborations we have, and that will be coming here in the future as well.
Welcome to Laterna Magica, our new concept for a stand at Euroluce 2017. Why Laterna Magica? Because light and glass is magical and beautiful. And now let me show you why is it beautiful and magical. We are so proud for having collaborated with some of the world's most talented and renowned artists and designers.
Na této výstavě můžete spatřit vedle legend československého skla, jako byl René Roubíček a Stanislav Libenský, také fenomény světové architektury a designu, jako je Kengo Kuma, Záhady Design Studio, Ed & Terence nebo Jabu Pušelberg.
Laterna Magica has been used for over 300 years to project light through sheet of glass.
A v roce 1958 během světové výstavy v Bruselu Češi na československém pavilonu posunuli tento vynález do další úrovně. Vzniklo tak první multimediální divadlo.
We have used the Laterna Magica concept to enjoy, to have fun, to explore, experiment and show our magical collections in a new light.
When we were invited by Lasvit to design the glass lighting feature, we thought it's a great opportunity to confront and challenge both materials, organic, natural wood and cold glass.
Our new lighting system called Cypher
is really flexible and we're able to customize the patterning and rhythm of it.
Duna is organic, based on dune formations. Eve was more inspired by our architectural work. The light traveled through the glass to create a different sculpture through the evening. So it has two different lives.
As an architect, as an interior designer, we start to think, how does this lamp illuminate space and give emotion? We actually try to capture a silhouette that you can see in a receding tile when the ocean, when the waves hit the beach.
Na výstavě se snažíme ukázat různé přístupy těchto autorů, ale také technologie, techniky a řemeslo, s kterým Lasvit pracuje.
We worked with Lasvit to develop the technique of how to find new ways of expressing our ideas.
expertise in hand-blown glass has came into a very important role, and the artisan in Lasvit has helped us to come up with such a simple form.
In this day and age of modernization, globalization, and systemizing everything, it's nice to have a company that wants to grow based on its roots, its heritage.
Their new collections are some of our best collections that we have ever designed and crafted. And I hope these new collections will bring a bit of magic to the whole world to celebrate beauty and to celebrate life.